won at Lambeau last year.
Yep.
Does that mean you just end the season the way you wanted to end the season?
Yeah. Thinking back to last year, that time.
Made a field goal at the end.
Yeah. It was awesome. It was obviously you go through such a tough time and weird time and all. Everybody knows what happened last year, and you go and face a rival like this rival that's been going on for 100 years or so. So um, being able to go out there and defeat them and things like that is it was important for us as players and the guys that are still here, and then for the future for us, and we want to keep that going. Obviously you want to win every single game that you play, but this week, since this is the only week that we got, you definitely want to go out there and keep proving ourselves.
I know that this season is very different than last season, and new players, new coaches, new everything. But does it give you a confidence, having gone up there and won before?
Yeah. I think throughout this whole year, what we've been able to accomplish has given us a extreme confidence, and then for myself, being a part of something that everybody knows the stats of the Bears going up there before last year. It wasn't the best, and so being able to be a part of that, being able to contribute to that, provides confidence for myself, and gonna exude that to the other guys.
What have you come to appreciate about the rivalry, and what do you know about it now that you maybe didn't know when you get drafted?
Oof. Um, I would say some of the history, like kind of what I just said of the games and how the games have gone, and some of the long streaks that have gone on. I didn't really know that getting drafted here, but I definitely appreciate it. You love rivalries. I've been in some cool, fun rivalries throughout my career so far, whether it's NFL or college, and so they're always fun. They always come down to it's an emotional game. It always comes down to the final minutes, and so being able to try and go out there and put up as many points as possible. Defense hold them as to the least amount of points as possible, and special teams go make plays for us. That's what we're going to try and do. But being able to control our emotions throughout the whole game is what we're going to focus on.
Caleb, since the spring, what do you identify here in the environment that's created sort of the springboard for you guys to have the success you've had so far?
Yeah, I think it starts with coach and what he told us he was going to be for us, and how consistent he was, and then from there, and how consistent he is, and then from there it's just the things that he provided us that ultimately are going to help us win. The details, the discipline, and all those things, and then you put all those together, you start winning some ball games, and you got to keep being consistent, and you got to keep laying on the basics and harping on the basics, and so that's what we're going to keep doing throughout the whole year, and that's something that he put up this morning is always go back to basics because basics win.
Ben Johnson talked about the passing game. He says a combination of like ball location as well as route discipline. Where do you think, what are some of those factors that tie into quote unquote inaccuracy in those cases where it occurs?
Route discipline and ball location. um, uh, I think it ties into exactly what he said is route discipline, and then ball location. Obviously, everything. I miss a pass, and uh, it looks a certain way, and to everybody, and everybody doesn't know all the details, and so you go into that, and you look at the stats, and you look at all these percentages, and whoop de doo, right? And so you go into all of that, and then from there, we come back here and we actually look at the film, and was I in the right spot, and was my drop right? You always look at yourself first, and then you go and you go look at the other guys, and were they at the right spot? Were they at the right spot at the right time? And you try and tie those things together, and that's the fun part about football. That's the fun part about playing this position. That's the fun part about a long season is you have these ups and downs. You also have these moments where you may not be hitting on all cylinders, and then you have these moments where it feels like you can't miss. And so we're trying to get to the point where we feel like we can't miss, and we got a bunch of young guys, including myself, that are out there trying to make plays. It's a lot of film, it's a lot of talking, it's a lot of open communication that we've been having and have to keep having to get to the point where we're hitting on all cylinders at the right time this year.
Obviously, there's been production there. There's been those games where 4 touchdown game early on this season. Do you feel like the passing game is getting close to where you want it to be kind of consistently?
Yeah, it's so close. I mean, like if you look at last game, there was obviously I had the two that were that I should have hit thrown to the right side, Rome and DJ, and then right time and right everything miss. And then we have the other couple plays where the guy slip, but it's right time and right spot. It's just the guy slip, and then and then we had a couple where it was just a miscommunication on him breaking in or out and things like that. So it's we were in the right spot, right time, and it's just just not on the same page. So that's really what it's come down to. And so us going back and watching film and looking at it and all of that, we're so close, and we'll be hitting here soon.
Ben said the other about your game in Philly. He said take the stats, throw it out.
Yeah, take the stats out. You
Like-
go watch some ball, and you'll be able to really see.
And he was really complimentary about how you managed that game. Like, what have you learned about being a quarterback in managing a football game?
Yeah, that's a part of quarterback. Obviously, when it's time to go make plays, when it's time to maybe make a comeback, or when it's time to put the game away, those times come. But when throughout the whole game, throughout 1 through 3, and part of the fourth, it's being able to make consistent plays, routine plays. And I think that's what I've been trying to focus on for myself, is just make the routine plays, make the consistent plays, and then when the time comes, I know that our guys and myself, that we'll step up to the plate and either end the game or make a comeback or anything like that. But we're, like I said, like I've been saying, we want to focus on those 1 through 3 and part of 4 and try and get ahead as much as possible. And like I said, that's something that I'm going to keep focusing on, because that's part of quarterbacking, is managing the game. Dirting it on a couple of screens that we had, and small things like that, thrown out of bounds, all these different things to be able to try and keep the team in a positive position. And so, like I said, we're going to keep doing that as a team. I'm going to keep trying my best to do that, and then when the time comes, go in the game.
Was there a moment this season when you thought, oh, this might be a special year?
Yeah, I've felt that as soon as we started getting the guys in the building. As soon as it's funny, we like Ben and I, we'd be up in the office, and like we got a special group here because we got so many guys that care. And I've said that on multitude of times, and so being able to feel that energy, being able to know the guys and the type of guys we have in the building, just trying to be able to work on all the details, get everything right in my wheelhouse, and then obviously try and help the guys and push the guys and try and make sure they're in the right spot. But early on, I felt that we had a real shot, and just got to keep working towards it.
A really important follow-up to that. Did you send your dog to the hot dog place?
I did not. I don't think so, at least. I haven't checked in.
Is there confidence that's added to your game when you know now that you're going out there versus some of the best pass rushers, but you've got one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in football standing in front of you?
Absolutely. There's not a time that I step on that field and I don't feel confident, and a lot of that comes from those guys up in front of me. For what they do for me, our bond. We laugh and joke. I said this to Case the other day. I mean, the O-line are, they're my type of guys, because they laugh, joke, and they have a good time. But I mean, all they do is love football, and they don't get the credit they deserve. But every time that I can and will, I'll step up here and say that, every time that I step on the field, like I said, I feel extremely confident in those guys, and a lot of it, comes from it.
What stands
Maybe
out?
tie into your answer to Courtney's question, but when Ben starts the week emphasizing the urgency to get the passing game revved up collectively, and it takes all 11, what do you hear in terms of your 1/11th this week of trying to get that going?
Yeah, details, and when the time comes, give the guys a runner's ball, and then from there, let them go be special. But my part of it is details, is footwork, being clean, and moving throughout the concepts, getting reps and visualizing all the different reps and concepts that we have throughout the weeks, and visualize completing each pass and the coverage or how it may be in my drop or pressure or anything like that, and just feeling confident in that, and then delivering a good runner's ball for those guys so they can go make special plays for us.
What stands out about hearing good, better, best after a win for the first time?
When I first heard it, it was actually kind of funny to me because it was just like it's my first time hearing it, and it's something that caught fire within us in our locker room, and I love it. It's something that we all get. I mean, y'all may have seen. I'm always right there, just like a little kid up there in the front of the classroom, just ready to frickin' raise my hand. In that sense of the urgency of like I want every single game. I want to win every single game, and we all want to get back to that locker room and have that moment of good, better, best, and light it up in that locker room together.
What stands out to you about this defense? Ben talked earlier just about how this might be some of the best safeties you guys have faced all year too.
Yeah, not only best safeties, but they got a hell of a D line, obviously that all of y'all know about and probably write about and things like that. But the D line, the backers, number 7 especially, their corners of 25 and 24, they've been playing very well. The safeties, like Coach said, are extremely talented. And so it's a great challenge for us. We got to be focused on the details, and from there we got to go out there and execute the plays that are called, and have a certain mentality about us when we step on that field. Awesome, thank you. The Bears.